Hey treasures, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that I got a call from the girlfriend. Yeah, the girlfriend. This happened about like 6 or 7 years ago. I can barely keep track of time now. And I was in this phase when I was like dating a lot, and this is when I was hanging out with Alexis a lot. And if you don't know, if you guys aren't OGs, I will have some of those videos in the playlist down below. But this is when I was just dating, and I was in this phase where I was cooped up a lot in high school, where I wasn't allowed to date. Not that people wanted to date me anyways. And this is when like Tinder started like being big where I'm from. And so like me and my girl were like just on Tinder, like constantly like, you know, talking like back and forth, or like with the guys that were talking to us. And there was this one guy from my high school that I thought like he was so cute. And I was just like, I never spoken to him, but I would see him in the hallways, and I was like, who is that? And then obviously, you know, I know people in like different grades and people in his grade, and then they would tell me like, oh, who he was. And for the sake of this video, we're gonna call him Anthony. So Anthony was so cute, and I was like, oh my god, I wish. And it was because my type is definitely not like where I'm typically their type. So I was like, oh, there's just no chance in hell. So there was like, I never ever said anything. Now fast forward, now I'm like 20, 21, and I'm like dating, and then I see him on Tinder. And so I was like, okay, it doesn't even matter. Tinder was great because it was like, everyone said things that were on their chest that they would never say in high school. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's so many people in high school that I thought were cute, but, like, I never went there. I wasn't allowed to date anyways, but, like, I never went there. And then, like, I got to Tinder, and it was like, yeah, I thought you were cute, too. And I was like, this entire time you thought I was attractive, too? Like, wasted opportunity. No, I'm joking. So I swiped right, and then we matched, and he ended up just, like, talking to me right away, and I was just like, damn, okay. And then we made plans, and usually I like to talk to someone for like a week just to make sure like they're like pretty much sane, and like I get like their like Snapchat and all those things just to make sure like it's not catfish and like all those things. And I knew he obviously wasn't a catfish, as well as probably like the chance that he was gonna be a psycho, since I actually like knew him or knew of him, and like people I knew him, all that jazz was little. So I was like, yep, let's go on a date. And so after like 2 days of talking, I'm like, yep. I was just like waiting at the edge of my seat like for him to ask me out, right? So he asked me out, and I honestly don't remember what we did. All I remember was that like we drove around. Like I think we just drove around. It was like late at night because he had like something to do, and I honestly didn't care. I just wanted to like hang out with him, because as much as he was like my type, like he was short, but as much as he was like my type, I didn't want to date him because when him and I were talking, he was telling me about like all this drama with like his ex-girlfriend, and like they were like back and forth, and like he claimed that they were like fully over right now. So I was like, okay. And also too, I don't really like, if you're the cream of the crop of my type, I probably don't want to date you, because if you're the cream of the crop of my date, then that means you get like a lot of attention. And I don't really like that, because I'm very territorial. So yeah, it just for me to stay sane, or like as sane as possible, it's best if I just, you know, I don't date a 10 in my type, okay? So I was just like, I want to hang out with you and probably kiss you, but like I don't want to like, you know, do anything else. I don't want to get to know you really, and all those different things. So he picked me up, and then we were just like riding around in his car around where Alexis lived, and we were just like talking about like different scenarios and like our views on like different things, and it was like a cool chat, you know. And then he like goes to kiss me, and after we kissed, it was like, oh, okay, like he was a good kisser, so we continued, and he's like, okay, getting tired, so he wanted to know if I wanted to go over to his house. And I know y'all thinking, well, duh, you're gonna go. And you're wrong. I did not go. I was just like, no, like, I'm not easy. You're not about to just, like, not even have to take you on a date and you're about to get some from me? You think you're gonna get it from me? No. So I declined, and I would say probably like 20 minutes after, he dropped me off at Alexis's house, and then he went on his way, and then we were texting like the rest of the night. And so we never went out again, but we were like be texting here and there, and it was one of those like, oh, every single time he was like talking to me, I'd get like happy, right? Even though I didn't want to date him, he was still like, this like dream crush type of situation come true. And so let's fast forward. I'm at my own house now, and it's probably maybe like 2 weeks later, and I'm about to go back to Alexis's house for like a couple of days. And so I'm getting ready, and I get a call from like an unknown number. And back then, like, this was when there was no like spam calls all the time. So I answered because I was like, okay, who is this? And I was talking to so many different people, and I don't save people's numbers in my phone because like most people are like temporary, right? You kind of learn the tricks of like Tinder. So I never really saved people's numbers in my phone until like we became something. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's somebody like calling me, whatever. And so I answered it, and it's a girl. And she tells me to stay away from Anthony and like leave him alone. Like, he doesn't want you, all these different things. And I'm just thinking like, what is she talking about? Because him and I didn't date anymore, and like, yeah, there was kind of like flirting here and there, but like we were like barely talking at that point. So I was just like, for someone to like tell me to back off now, it was like I was backed off. So like, what are you talking about? And I just like listened. Honestly, like I answered so if I don't know who it is, I just answer the phone and I let them say something first. And then I was just like, whenever she said hi, and then she just like went off, and I was like, and I just was like, and then I hung up because I was like, what the fuck? And then after that, I went and looked at Anthony's Instagram, and I saw that he had like pictures back up with his girlfriend, and I was like, okay, cool. I went to Alexis's house like, I would say like an hour after that happened to go and like tell her and like show her what like his girlfriend looked like and everything like that, and I couldn't because I was blocked. So yeah, that is the time that I was warned away by the girlfriend. And to be honest, I just think like I'd get it if I was like super crazy and like all about him and stuff like that, and like he was trying to tell me like to go away, then you get like your girlfriend involved. But like if I was just being normal, like she probably stole his phone, but if I was just being normal and being like, hey, how are you, like we could have been friends, I don't really understand like the confrontation like at all, to be honest with you, at all. Like if it was my man and I see he's talking to someone, I'm gonna go to my man about that. I'm not gonna go to the random girl that probably doesn't know that you guys are together. Just like a hint, girls. Anyways, so yeah, that's it for today's story time. Have you ever been in a situation like that? I'm pretty sure you have, because everybody I bring it up to tells me the same thing. So let me know your stories down below, because I am nosy. And I will see you guys in the next video. You've been on my mind. Only you can get me right. Hey, you know you get me high. Nobody gets me.